All right, welcome back everybody. Today we're going to do a update on Verasity VRA. There's been overwhelming feedback to cover this and to continually update you guys on VRA price action and kind of what VRA is doing. So I want to make sure that I keep that promise and keep updating you on what's going on with the VRA chart. So I have a good video prepared for you guys today. It should be a pretty quick one, but let's dive right in. So first of all, if you've heard me cover VRA before, we had this beautiful cup and handle form into this awesome falling wedge. I mean, basically it could be in a textbook. Beautiful falling wedge. And then we kind of break out into this elongated bullish continuation pattern. You see the 50-day cross above the 100 and 200 days right here. And then it's game over. We pop up to kind of where we are right now. And so now I kind of want to get into what's been happening the last couple of weeks and get a little bit more granular. So we've been holding this bullish continuation pattern pretty steady, pretty easy. And right here, you're going to notice a couple of things. So one, 50 days scoops above the chart right here. And basically a couple days after that happens, we get that run up right there. And we're starting to see this happen again. So 50-day right here goes above the chart. 50-day looks like it's creeping above the chart right here. Typically, that's an indication that we're overdue for a pump. Excuse me, there. Typically, that means that we're overdue for somewhat of a pump every time that's happened, at least in the chart's history. We can see down here, 50-day above the chart, 50-day above the chart, breakout, 50-day above the chart, breakout. So it's not unreasonable to think that we're, right on the verge of a breakout from what we're seeing. The other thing that makes me believe that is that we're holding this continuation pattern really steady, like I said before. So, for example, we could have easily dropped below this today, but we hold this candle right here and it ticks the trend line, bounces back up, and we had a huge, this is the 4-hour chart. So the last 4 hours were huge. We were actually on a downward trend basically this entire day. And these last 4 hours, we bounced off the trend line, heading back up to another fib level. So that was great to see. Now, if we're gonna get into kind of what's going on right here, I think you could probably make the case for a bullish rectangle. We see this forming pretty concretely right here. And so a lot of the times that signals some consolidation. And if you're in a bullish continuation pattern, a lot of the times that'll mean a breakout to the upside will follow. Doesn't always happen, but it's something to watch out for as well. So now that we've covered that, I want to clean this up a little bit, get these trend lines out of the way, and kind of talk price predictions and some reasonable levels that we might see in the coming weeks. And then obviously we'll kind of recap on long-term price predictions. So coming in here, right now, you're going to notice that we're bouncing around between this bottom 0 fib level and then our 0.236. So we've been bouncing back here most of today. And you can see that particularly this fib level has been critical. So that would be the 0.5 at just over 8 cents. This has been so critical. As you can see right here, that's basically where our run ended, coming off that multi-week run or multi-day run. That's where it ended, right at that marker. We come up, retest it again, don't get it, retest it again, kind of break above it. And if you were following closely on Twitter, this was a big couple of hours for VRA. It was trending like crazy. We thought that might be the time that we see 9 cents and then maybe 10 cents. Didn't happen. But what I want to note is that this is a healthy retest, right? It's really rare that we just, unless it's one of these metaverse gaming coins, it's rare that we just from this crazy run just keep going for an all-time high. It needs to come back and retest these key levels. So right now we're putting in higher and higher supports, which you love to see. So basically what I'm saying is we're not coming down and testing this over and over again. If we were doing that, I'd be a little bit more concerned in terms of our ability to go back to the downside. But we've been increasing our supports and also increasing our resistances as we go. You can see that right here. And so right now I'm hoping that we've bottomed out right here and we don't drop back down to this fib. And I hope that we cross this 8-cent fib pretty easily. We've been above that pretty consistently most of the time. You can see that we just barely got above that last time we tried, and we held pretty strongly above it right here. But we're gonna need to break convincingly above this, hold multiple 4-hour candles. Here we only held 2, not entirely above, if you see that right here. So we're gonna wanna hold a couple of 4-hour candles above this level. And then what you wanna look for is our push past that 8.5 cent mark right here. This is a huge level. If we convincingly break out of here and close a couple 4 hours or a daily candle above this level, it could get really, really interesting. This is where we may or may not see one of these kind of 30 to 40 to 50% runs, which could in the short term put us in play for the 10 cent mark. So that would be really, really nice to see within the next few weeks. It really depends on, obviously the state of the market. There's a ton of Q4 news coming out about Verasity. So, the exchanges, those need to run smoothly and everything needs to go well on that side. And then of course, a lot of their proof of view patents are actually going to be coming into play in Q4. So we'll have to see how those play out. But for a short-term TA, key levels are going to be 8.5 cents. We got to break by that. If we get a couple of 4 hours in or a full day above that, then we're gonna look to just above 9 cents and then hopefully 10 cents. And then once we hit, at least in my opinion, once we get around this area, this is when Verasity is gonna go price discovery mode. And that's when we can start talking about, in the next few weeks, potentially driving up between 10 and 12 cents. We'll likely play around here and maybe pull kind of a similar scenario that we're seeing here where we're putting in higher resistance, a higher support, and kind of slowly ticking and consolidating up. And then once we do that around that 10 to 12 cent range, so up here, that's when we're going to be gearing up for potentially our last pump of the alt season. And then hopefully, long term based on what we've seen before, I think something between 50 cents and 75 cents is pretty reasonable. Obviously, there's a lot of people calling for $1. Not that $1 is not possible. We just need a lot to go right, and it needs to grow at a growth rate that it's never done before. So if you look back here, that's 5 cents from a third of a cent. So that's a pretty solid growth rate, but it's not from our last low to $1. That would put us more around, if we replicated our previous growth rate here, and if we say, okay, well, we're going to replicate this exactly, that's going to put us somewhere between, somewhere between 50 and 75 cents. I see that as a more realistic price target to the high side. Conservatively, I think we get 20 to 30 cents pretty easily. It's just it's so hard to say, with so much bullish news coming out about VRA. I mean, this thing could really just take off. And we don't know if some of this news isn't quite as bullish as we thought, maybe it doesn't. So that's kind of the update I have for you guys. We're really just waiting, just to recap here for a second, we're really, really holding on and waiting to make sure that we can break this 8.5 cent level. And then the next level we're watching obviously is almost 9 cents, and then we're gonna look to 10 cents. So watch this carefully, make sure that we bounce off of the trend line. So I'll pull it back up just to help us here. So we can see this this trend line here. We bounced, like I said previously, we bounced off of that super nicely today. I was watching this, I was a little bit worried that if we drop below this, we'd probably go searching for this 0 fib level and then come back up and have to retest this again, which would have just delayed our next pump. But luckily we came back off that trend line. So now you want to watch for Verasity to stay between, 7.5 cents, and then you need it to get above 8.5 cents for it to run again. So watch that closely. We need to hold above 8.5 cents, at least multiple 4-hour candles or a whole daily candle. And then we're gonna look to that 9 cent level. If we break past that, we're gonna look at a 10 cent resistance. And then if we break past that, Our next resistance level is going to be 12 cents, and we'll likely bounce around between 10 cents and 12 cents for quite a bit before pumping further. So that is kind of what I have prepared for you guys today. Hope you found that valuable. If you did, please drop a like. It's always appreciated. Let me know in the comments what else you want me to cover. I'm happy to cover anything. Like, I just love doing this, providing value for you guys. VRA has been a fan favorite, but happy to cover whatever you'd like. So just let me know, and thank you so much for watching the next video.